Hi, everybody. We are back today with Emily Maguire again. She is here with me to talk about one of the hottest topics, which is reintroducing carbs after the cleanse.
I know everyone's like, when can we have this back in? And we're going to talk about it today.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. So, we definitely want you to reintroduce carbs. They are part of life, they're delicious, they're amazing. So, this is the cleanse was just a reset. So, this was just to wipe everything clean. You're getting rid of all of your cravings. So that way you can start fresh and start to really reintroduce things and learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So carbs are the number one thing. So the way that I usually recommend it is to start with very small amounts and typically start with sweet potatoes because they're a little bit lower sugar than fruits. So that's where I typically start, and then eventually moving on to berries and apples and things like that. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, I'm very similar. So, and particularly with the fruits, I would also say to definitely start off with berries as your first fruit to kind of introduce because it is one of the lower sugar fruits. But definitely starting off with some more of the starchy carbs, so things like the sweet potatoes. I still always maintain, so although we are saying that we love carbohydrates in that sense with the fruits and vegetables, you're still going to be avoiding refined sugars, refined grains, which is pretty much a given. But sometimes I think we have to make sure we're being super explanatory where we're not saying you can just go off and have mass amounts of pizza and chips and cake and all that type of thing. So definitely, and the way that I do it is I often get people to start adding back in, trying to do about a 5 gram increment every day until you reach a bit more of your sweet point. And I call it your carbohydrate tolerance level. So it's that kind of upper level where you can sit nicely, eat that level carbohydrates every day to maintain your weight, to stabilize your mood, and not to have cravings come back as well. And I think, because Jenny and I were just talking off screen about this in terms of tracking, because I know for me, this week has definitely let me reset in terms of how I eat, some of my patterns with eating. So I think for a lot of you, it could be a really good time to see, what to do from here in terms of tracking. What's your advice on tracking, Jenny?
So the cleanse, no tracking, no measuring, no weighing, nothing. We're just resetting. But then after that, I think it's really important to start tracking because then you can kind of find out, okay, so I reintroduced this much of this food and what happened. Because sometimes it doesn't even have to be a donut. It can be something considered healthy that triggers cravings and it triggers you to just fall off the wagon. So it's super important to keep track of that. And even if you're not like putting it in something like MyFitnessPal, just writing a little journal and then how you feel too, because it's a lot of social and emotional stuff that goes with it too. So if you're with a certain group of friends and they're always pushing you to eat too much, and then you do and you fall off the wagon, you have that documented and you know that, okay, so maybe next time if I'm really serious about dropping these pounds or getting rid of cravings, maybe I shouldn't go out to dinner with those friends. So keeping track is so important starting Saturday. Or if if you want to just have a little fun this weekend and relax a bit, it's fine. But get right back to that tracking.
Yeah. And I think as well, just to come back to the reintroduction of the carbs, is that, on Saturday, don't just start your carbs with every single meal time. When we're talking about this gradual reintroduction, maybe choose one meal time to start with and add that, sweet potato back in. Then the next day, do the same. And then after that, try, 2 meals, 3 meals. Then you could, look at a small amount of fruit for a snack or exam or whatever it is that's going to work for you. But don't just add it all back in one go. So just try and do this a gradual reintroduction. I generally say over like a week to 2 weeks. But again, just kind of listen to what your body is saying with it. And I think, like Jenny was saying, so the little added things I've definitely noticed. So things like I'm craving berries and dark chocolate like really significantly yesterday, and it suddenly let me see, oh my god, I just reach for that. Although I know it's an allowed food, I just reach for that, and sometimes would have like 6 squares of it because it was like an allowed thing. But I was eating it because I was like tired, I was bored. It was not because I was hungry. So it's definitely let me see that side of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then also with the reintroduction of carbs, it's different for everybody. So I might be able to have an entire giant sweet potato and be totally fine. You might have 3 bites and it'll trigger something. So it's super individualized. So just really just, this whole thing is to learn your body and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So I think that's super important to consider also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with carbs as well, so if you are having them at mealtime, it is really good to pair with a protein and a fat as well, because it helps downplay the glycemic response of it. And all that means is the rate at which it raises your blood sugar level. So for some people, if it really impacts you, then having it, along with that mealtime where you've got some really great healthy fats on your plate and some protein as well, will just kind of help downplay that and help with any cravings that might be triggered as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always especially when you're reintroducing fruit, because it is very sweet, not just, even if you start with berries that aren't super high sugar, they're very sweet. So that can trigger the craving. So make sure you pair it with a side of walnuts or something really high fat to piggyback so that it's not just straight up sugar going into your bloodstream.
Some nut butter actually with berries works really quite nice.
Yes, and a little bit of cinnamon or nutmeg.
Yes.
I love that.
Don't. I'm actually
I'm sorry.
We can stop talking. I actually had to stop looking at Instagram at Fit Foods because I was like, I just want to eat all this.
Oh no. Well, you can soon. And dark chocolate and wine, those things you can have back. Just be careful, especially with alcohol, because it does lower your blood sugar, which causes you to have cravings. So just pay attention, drink plenty of water with it. You could even start with a red wine spritzer with some seltzer water. That's typically what I do, just to kind of ease back in, because it will hit you harder after this week since you're completely fresh. So you don't really need as much. So don't try to drink 2 or 3 glasses. You will get trashed. Right?
We call it a cheap date.
Yeah, it's a very cheap date. It's nice. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm actually going to send you guys some tips on reintroducing carbs. And Mark Sisson also has a really awesome graph. I don't know if you've seen that, Emily.
No, I've not actually.
He has a graph where it shows each carb level, kind of what's associated with it as far as cravings and weight loss. And it's been it's awesome and it's great. So I'm going to link to that for you guys in today's email. So I think that's it. Thank you so much, Emily.
What is the competition as well?
Oh, for the cleanse?
Yeah, for the book from Mark Sisson.
Oh, for Mark Sisson, yeah. So it's on Instagram. It's a super easy giveaway. We're just asking people to tag 3 friends and like our page, and that's it. And they are so generous. They're giving us Mark Sisson's new book that hasn't even come out yet. And then we're also doing a jar of the paleo mayo that we recommend and love. So
yay! I'm super excited.
I know, I love all these giveaways.
I know.
I wish I could give away to everybody, but
you would if you could.
I absolutely would if I could. Oh my gosh. Okay, well thank you so much again, Emily. This is awesome. Thank you for your tips. And we'll see you in chat.
Yay!
Okay, bye.